Hello everyone and welcome back to Real Life Alpha. So for this video I have a red pill breakdown of a gold digger video I've just found on the internet, and I will have some commentary to supplement what the plot is. I will not be judging the actors per se, although I have to admit that they have done a really good job interpreting these respective characters. And the thing is, though they are characters, and this is a piece, this is a segment, I strongly believe that these characters they accurately represent people in real life. And there's quite a lot of red pill moments. I've never seen so much red pill in one video. It is surprising. And also with my critique, or should I say roast, goes towards the characters themselves, which also portray people in real life. And my view is they will understand where I'm coming from with this with this commentary. As it's known, the red pill is highly controversial and it's not easy to comprehend at first glance, and I want to also express myself in a respectful manner. So I will also leave the original link for the video so you guys can watch it for yourselves. In the video we got two main characters, so that will be being the couple. Got the woman who's young, classy and attractive. She looks quite nice on the outside, I have to admit, but very on in the video it really shows her inner self being quite arrogant, selfish, immature, materialistic, entitled, all of those flaws. And like I said, just before, I believe that this character represents the modern day woman very well. Now we've got the man, and the guy is quite an average Joe. He's young, he's financially unstable, since he's building his business. He's not particularly tall, he's not really that fit, and he's not very handsome as well. He looks a little bit nerdy and weak. And this also, displays on his beta male behaviors, such as, pleading for his woman many times for patience and faith, for his business to take off. Also shows that he does not have any game whatsoever, and he has no other options with women. This character would strongly represent, the modern day man of today, in my honest opinion. Now we've got a rough idea on who these characters are, so I'll be breaking down the plot with my red pill lenses. So in the beginning of the video, the guy gives this woman, a handbag as a gift. So, he's a beta male, he's spoiling her. The problem is that this bag is not a designer bag. There are some names in fashion that, I don't follow fashion, but there are some names that every time I hear these names, my heart just keeps a beat, because they just scream luxury and just big expenses. Like, Louis Vuitton and Swarovski and De Beers and so on and so forth. Literally, I panic hearing those names. It really shows, like, right out of the bat, she's very materialistic. And she's like that because she wants to show off to her girlfriends and strangers that she's living a lavish lifestyle with a wealthy, high-value male at her side. And she wants to cause envy and to feel superior to everyone. And this is a flaw that a lot of women have nowadays. And this should be one of your disqualifiers on a woman for a long-term relationship. She disrespects him many times, saying his idea for a business is stupid and will never work. This also shows complete lack of support from her, and is yet another disqualifier you need to have for a long-term relationship. However, there is one question that you guys might be asking, which is, why is this woman still around this guy? Now, the answer is actually really simple. She just doesn't want to feel alone at all. This is the concept of monkey branching, where a woman keeps, hopping on from relationship to relationship at a moment's notice. And this is just for the fact that she wants to avoid to be single at all times. Women need men in a sense of purpose, just to have some company for them not to feel lonely. And don't forget, guys, that women are often judged by society by the man that she is with. And at this point for her, the beta male is better than nothing. But she will upgrade or should I say cheat, on her current man for a better one, if she has the opportunity. This also shows her hypergamy in full display, since most women are self-sufficient these days when it comes to jobs, wealth and income. They do not need a man for those basic needs. So what it ends up is they end up treating us like objects, and they throw us away when they do not need us anymore. So guys, don't forget, even if she makes her money, she's still very happy to spend yours. Yet again, all of these are disqualifiers for you to have on a woman on a long-term relationship. So I would like you to pay attention around the 50-second mark to her body language and her facial expressions as she enters the man's car. So she displays a lot of disgust entering a Hyundai. So, Hyundais, they're good cars, they're reliable, but they're not, good looking cars, they're not luxurious models, and she feels embarrassed to be seen in one. So moving with the plot, the woman is hungry and she wants to go to a restaurant and she wants some steak and wine. Obviously, it needs to be a Michelin star venue because she's classy. At this stage, the guy knows, and he explains to her that he's not yet at those levels of wealth for him and her to experience those luxuries in life. He offers a much cheaper and humble alternative, but the woman refuses. Once again, this shows her arrogance and entitlement by saying, "Are you kidding me? Are you going to take me, a girl that looks like this, into Denny's for dinner?" And then it's men that objectify women. Now he attempts to start the car, but the tank is empty. He is broke, and she asks him, when is he going to get rid of that piece of junk car, and when is he going to get a nice one? Once again, a lot of women think that money just appears just out of thin air, just because. And again, he pleads for the woman's patience and faith for his business to take off. He continuously behaves weak, which turns her off and allows disrespect from her. And this is yet another flaw this is on the man's part. A lot of men, because they're thirsty, because they want a woman, because they want a nice relationship, they avoid conflict at all times and they just tolerate every bit of toxic behavior from her. They just sweep it under the rug, doesn't matter. And that ultimately is wrong. Now, in the next scene, he has a wedding ring and he wants to propose to her. I don't even know how. She's back and she's got that luxury bag that she wanted from Louis Vuitton. He stated that him and her have been together for nearly a year, perhaps thinking the relationship had a strong foundation, which obviously didn't have. He continues with his proposal with lines such as, "I can't imagine my life without you." Guys, never say this to a woman. I don't care who she is. Never say this to a woman. Any sentence you say that portrays this type of weak behavior must be erased from your vocabulary. Now, moving on, she insults him for the wedding ring, for being, humble and cheap, for having a really tiny stone in it. And she refuses to marry him and reveals that she's cheating on him with another man. Ultimately, she ends up dumping him for a bigger, better deal, which would be the guy that she's seeing on the side and getting those luxury items from. As you see, this leaves our man completely heartbroken and very confused. Lots of men encounter this type of red pill content wanting answers. These men want to understand what happened, what did they do wrong, why are women behaving like this, and how can they avoid all of this suffering in the future. So in the meantime, the woman was getting spoiled and having a great time with her new man, which did not last a very long time. The Chad was also, seeing other women, and he ended up dumping her for another woman who likely is younger, more beautiful, and they're just a commodity to them. All of these women are a commodity to the Chad. So our man slowly got over the breakup, and he likely was getting a little bit of education when it comes to the red pill. And as well, he was focused on his business to make it flourish. In the process, he met another woman that was, internally quite the opposite of the previous one. This new lady, she was supportive, she was submissive, and she was nurturing. This guy's life was improving substantially, and the previous woman's life was going in the exact, opposite direction. After that, his so-called business really took off, and now he is successful. Now, the funny part is that our couple bumped into each other in a random day. The guy is so much better dressed, and the woman is just completely the opposite. Her clothes are way more humble, and so is her attitude. She compliments him and recognizes that he can now provide for a woman. He's now successful, and he would be, a catch. Now, he also noticed the same as we did, that he noticed that she's dressed in a way more humble way, and he also noticed the cheap handbag that she was carrying. He asked about it, and then she lied, replying that the bag was for a friend. She also looks and questions if the luxury car he was standing next to was his. He affirmatively, replies it was a Rolls Royce. Once again, she's applying her hypergamy, saying she wants to be with him. This is all crocodile tears, man. She's lying. Obviously, she does not love him, and this type of love, this is the idealistic love that women provide to men. A woman very likely will never love a man, unconditionally. Prove me wrong. And even so, you might be a unicorn, because the majority of women these days, they love their men, idealistically. What he can do for her, basically. I really liked the smirk of the guy's face when he was asking for her boyfriend, and to no surprise, it did not work out for her, and she, admitted he dumped her. He knew the answer all along, and since he already has, some experience dealing with these type of women and some sort of red pill awareness, he still seems a little bit of a beta male, but he's not as green, or should I say as blue-pilled. She also admits she would still take his marriage proposal, a few years back that she refused from. And she's even okay with that, pitiful ring that he got her back then. The new guy's fiance steps in the scene, and her and the ex are introduced. Now, the new woman revealed that, the guy and her are engaged. And this is a massive roast and reality check to our ex in question. Her facial expression was priceless, seeing the gigantic, precious stone on the woman's hand. Our new happy couple was off to their exquisite fine dining, steak and wine. And also we got another scene of their really satisfying smirks on their faces and saying goodbye to our lonely friend. However, just before he leaves, our girl asks, what does the other one have that she does not? Out of desperation and very close into busting into tears. Then he revealed that his current woman supported him throughout his journey to accomplish his goals. Any money that he would spend on the new woman, she refused, and she said that he needs to put the money back into the business. This is a sense of delayed gratification that nowadays very few people have, and especially women. So the new woman would support him by cooking him homemade meals to show that he cared for him. And let's emphasize that this was all intentional. She did this out of her own free will because she loves him. Now this, my friends, this is what we need to describe as a unicorn. Now moving on, this is yet one of many problems most modern women have these days. They'll just wait for you at the finish line to literally just pair bond with the winners. Now the question is, can you make it? Can you be successful? Because if you don't make it, forget about it. Now these type of women do not care about our struggles. They just want to be with the winners and celebrate the success. Now guys, I want to finish the video, saying, though it is tempting, you should not feel pity for these types of women. Ultimately, her punishment it is to be lonely for the rest of her life. Or, best case scenario, she ends up settling down for, another beta male, someone who might actually be worse. And she's ultimately unhappy because she does not love or respect that man. She literally would just marry this guy as an alternative to having 20 cats. It is very sad to see, to have some of these real life examples as a sacrifice to educate and to show young women on how not to behave or face the consequences in the future. Now guys, this is Real Life Alpha. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.